Yeah, I think with the uptake in demand for flexible workforce solutions, the rates for contractors are definitely being driven up by that demand for sure. Candidates are now in a really fortunate position in the contract market where companies are a little bit more hesitant in taking on perm staff with the added risk of headcount. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a little bit of a spike in the rates that candidates are looking for.
Yeah, I agree with that in the US market for sure, especially on the pharmaceutical side of the business. To, like what Matt was saying, cancer and control still, from a candidate perspective, and clients, they're hesitant to spend quite a bit of money on a salary and then of course on an agency fee for full-time. So they're a lot more comfortable, I say, and willing to spend the money on a contracting side where they have a lot more flexibility with it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the main added benefits of a contractor, isn't it? They can hit the ground running, they have a really high level of skill set, and they're used to coming in at key times for businesses in business critical projects where they don't need that time to embed within a company like a permanent hire or direct hire does. They're so specialist within what they do, and they've seen and been there and done it a number of times. So for contractors and companies that are hiring contractors, the ability to move projects forward does definitely increase with their use, 100%.
Our research kind of suggests that the average time to fill a role in perm is 60 days. Do you think that's quicker on the contract side of things?
Go for it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, in my role of having been a contract recruiter, now moving into taking over the permanent side of our business as well, I am baffled by the time to fill that we see on permanent in comparison to contract. I've filled roles and the team have filled roles that can, sometimes be turned around within 24 hours. I'd say on average, you're looking at somewhere between 7 to 14 days, depending on interview slots and availabilities of people. But, I'd certainly be disappointed if we didn't fill a role within 2 weeks.
Yeah, totally agree. There's even what we sell, or at least talk about, we haven't sold it much, is a working start, right? So depending on the skill set, depending on the expertise that the client needs for their project, we will suggest, hey, we know this market extremely well. We have extremely strong contractors that we've vetted, that we've had work for other clients, other projects, etc. Why don't you get them started on Monday? See how they play out. We can do like a working interview, if you will. Assuming that they're gonna do well, you're off to the races immediately. So I've done it in the past. I haven't done it here yet, but it's something that I have done. I've been talking to the team about, is seeing if our clients are interested in a straight start opportunity to move the needle that much faster. In America, I think our turnaround times are exactly like you said. Ideally less than 2 weeks. We definitely can explain to clients, hey, background checks, drug tests, everything else can get started. And we can see someone get started a week later.
Yeah, I think about what a contractor is. They are not there to get embedded into the business, to see if they're a long-term culture fit. They're there to do a very specific project piece of work. So the idea that, they need to warm into the business or you need to test their culture fit is actually quite a small part of the interview process for contracts. Are they available? Can they do this piece of work? Have they done it before? Have we got backup of that with references and testimonials? Then great, let's get them in.
Yep, exactly. That's a tough true or false answer, in my opinion at least, right? What we have seen is, in full transparency, a little nervousness in the market, right? There's been a lot going on in the past 18 to 24 months. So to be able to give that a true or false answer, I'd say probably false.
Really?
In my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're seeing that, at least on the med device side. A lot of candidates who were contractors are like, hey, what perm jobs do you have out there? But it's our job to be able to find the true consultants, the true contractors that want to do contract work, that understand project-based needs and enjoy that type of work. So I think that's where the difference is. It's a hard answer for me to provide there, Owen. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I think for Europe and the UK, it's actually been the other way. We've seen a lot of permanent staff who, with this drive back to the office post-COVID, have really valued that massive factor of contracting, which is flexibility, right? And being able to pick and choose how you work and getting to that point in your career where you don't want to be spending 5 days in the office, commuting, stuck in traffic, getting on the tube or train, etc. And being able to work remotely, to work maybe 20 hours a week rather than 40, so you've got that time with your kids. I think we've definitely seen more conversions from perm to contract over the last 12 months, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a sweaty tube with that.
So what?
That tube, I don't blame you guys. It's hot. It's my first experience this weekend on the London tube, and it's been a toasty one, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I think the same. I think what I love about dealing with contractors is they're very transparent. If the money's right, if they're available, if the project is interesting within their skill set, then it's a fairly easier decision for them to accept the role and to be interested in the role, for sure. Much less about motivations and company culture and that long-term project pipeline. For me, it's okay, is the work there? What's the pay like? When can I start? Yeah, I think there's always been this idea around contracting that it's super expensive and it's going to bleed your company out of cash that you can't afford to burn. But I think what companies are starting to become a lot more educated around is the flexibility around contracting. You do not need to give someone work if there isn't work there. So that allows companies to be more flexible, more strategic with their spending when it comes to contract, which, you know, you don't have that option with perm salaries. You know, permanent salaries are what they are and they don't fluctuate, whereas contractors, if you don't need someone for that week, then, you know, that's the life of being a contractor, is having to stomach that and find projects elsewhere. So yeah, totally forgotten what your question was, but what I said
is good.
It's a big thumbs up. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with what Matt was just saying. He said it perfectly. The one thing I'll add too is all the costs that's associated with a business hiring on a full-time employee. It's not just the salary, right? There's a lot of other factors that go into it when they're looking to bring on an FTE or a full-time employee, where contract, it's purely budget. It's purely an hourly rate or a budget approved or budget established. So it's a lot easier for a company to say, hey, we can get $100,000 or $50,000 or $200,000 allocated to this project and X the project when it's over, right? Compared to having to say, okay, cool, we have $150,000 for the salary plus all the extra costs that it takes to employ somebody full-time. And then it's long-term too.
Yeah, I think, look, if you're utilising a really specialist agency that takes away a lot of that stress and a lot of that know-how that, you know, a company that doesn't frequently hire contractors might not have, then yeah, I would say it's definitely false, because an agency like us can really take all that stress away. But that being said, you've got to make sure that you're vetting the agencies that you're working with. You know, there's a lot of cowboys out there, should we say, and I think what Meet's really good at is always putting our clients first from a safety and compliance point of view and a risk point of view. So, you know, Alex Banks, our compliance manager, is a tough nut to crack, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying that, but he always makes sure that we're doing everything by the book, whether it comes to payment terms, to indemnity, exposure, insurances, limited company setups and the potential tax implications, IR35 for the UK, you know, all that good stuff that he sort of manages for us and ensures that all our consultants are trained on regularly, and make sure that ultimately for the client we take that risk away. And that's important for us, because we can't really do business if we're going around exposing clients to, you know, dodgy umbrella companies or setups that local countries, whether it's Switzerland, Germany, will look at really unfavourably. So doing things by the book and taking that strain away from our clients is really important to us from a contract offering.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree with Matt more. Additionally, right, using an agency specifically like Meet, we're very specialized in what we do. We have an excellent network of contractors that are ready to rock and roll, which is something that we highly value, right? Of course, compliance and regulation is top priority, but having the network within the verticals and the skill sets that our clients look to hire is where we can provide really fast talent to our clients. And it's also the interview process, right? So we've already reference checked these candidates, we've already vetted these candidates. Most of the time we've already met these candidates in person as well. So when we present them to a client, we're able to say, hey, this is A, B, and C about their skill set, their background, this is their personality, and this is what their references have to say. So give us the trust and let this person do a one and done interview and get this person started. Most of the time, doesn't work every single time, but most of the time it works out, right? And our clients are very happy with our service and they're very happy with the contractors that we provide. So the final piece I'll say on that is the interview process. If you're looking to get top talent, you have to work with an agency like ours, Meet for sure, and consult with them and believe in the value that they bring, and listen to what they have to say in regards to the interview process, because you can move that up very quick.
Yeah, I think this year has definitely been a contract market, particularly for us here in London. The contract book has grown by, let me do my numbers. Well, I don't actually have my numbers to hand, but it's grown. It's grown really well, and not just the processes, the culture of service and contract that we've put in place and expertise that we've got now, but it's fair to say that the market is warming towards contractors much more than what I've seen during my 8 years in contract recruitment, which has been great for the contract team, and just goes to show that contractors are a really valuable resource within the market.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, to be honest. Our number, we've grown about 45% since the beginning of this year, so pretty decent numbers for sure. And again, to what Matt's saying is it's what our clients need, right? It's the value that we can bring to the clientele, to the basis, to the industry. And we've seen it firsthand with the job flow we've experienced. A lot more clients are saying, hey, we need help with X, Y, and Z consulting contract roles. And it's great to see for our business, of course, and it's nice to see that the value that our teams bring to the market are really playing the field here.
I would say that, firstly, I'd say use an agency that is vetted, that has a contract book that you're familiar with. Meet Recruitment is able to take away that compliance headache, as we just said, has the specialised skill set in each market. We're not a generalist agency, so we do turn away business that doesn't fall into our niches and our verticals that each consultant operates in. And we know how to make contract placements, and it takes a certain type of networking within the contract space, which is very different to permanent. The way that our guys are trained is very different to the permanent team in terms of managing contractors, contractor care, looking after all those finer details that when it comes to company setups, insurances, and the like. So yeah.
Dev, what about you?
I agree. I say use us. Why not, right? We're a specialist agency. We know what we're doing. Our contract teams are growing throughout the world, but within our UK office and our New York office and our San Diego office, headcount here with our contract recruiters has grown drastically, which is great to see. And then the book of business has grown a lot too, which shows that we're doing our job very well. To Matt's point, right, we're specialists. We know exactly how to operate. We know how to be compliant within all regions of the world, which is great. And we can service our clients very quickly and most importantly, very well. And we have a lot of fun while doing it too, right? We're not a cut and dry business. We don't want to take your business. We don't want to be transactional. We want to build a relationship. That's something that Matt and I and everyone on our teams really values. Like, we want to understand what you guys need out of these contractors and work to find solutions to provide it.
Then it's definitely true. Definitely false.
There he is.
There it is. I was going so well.
Yeah, it was great.